In my last video, I covered Charge of Light and what it does. It's Warmind Cells time. I'm going to show you the ins and outs of how you can interact with them and the benefits they can provide for you and your fire team. Let's get started. Firstly, just like Charge of Light, all Warmind mods are found in your collections under Mods, then Combat Style. Here, you can see all the Warmind Cell mods and the elements that they come in. In my opinion, the elements are a little easier to understand compared to Charge of Light. We'll go over this later. For now, I'll explain what they do. To spawn a Warmind cell in the first place, you need to have a single Warmind cell mod equipped on any armor piece. Doesn't matter what type of element, you just need the mod. Second, you need to kill enemies with an Ikelos weapon or Seraph weapon, just like this SMG, the Ikelos SMG. There are ways around this to have other weapons create Warmind cells, including exotics such as Sunshot and Xenophage, but we'll go over this later. If you really only want to run one Warmind Cell mod, then I highly recommend Global Reach. It only costs 1 energy and is a basic must-have for any Warmind Cell build. The basic Warmind Cell you can spawn with no other mods other than Global Reach is a very good ad clearing tool. It will wipe most red health and some tougher enemies within a medium to large area. That's just the most basic version. This goes to show how powerful these little things are. A cell will spawn after 4 red bar kills, 2 to 3 orange bar kills, and 1 yellow bar kill with the selected Ikelos or Seraph weapon gun. Now we've gone over the basics of how Warmind cells operate, let's talk elements, starting with solar. Basically, solar mods turn Warmind cells into even bigger ad clearing machines, with effects such as added solar damage from Rage of the Warmind, and an added burn effect from burning cells. There lies a special mod called Wrath of Rasputin, which is what allows guns such as Sunshot and Xenophage to create its own Warmind cells. Just kill something with the explosion from these guns and you'll spawn a cell. This mod only costs 1 energy, so it's worth the socket if you plan on using these guns. Light of the Fire allows for Warmind cell explosions to create orbs of power. This can help a lot with Charge of Light builds. The last solar mod is Fire Team Medic, which will create a burst of healing when detonated. This mod can be useful in endgame scenarios. Now, moving on to Arc. Arc mods are all about collecting the cell itself, not detonating it. Mods such as Sheltering Energy grants you an overshield when walking into a Warmind cell, and Strength of Rasputin grants melee energy for collecting one too. Useful for anyone running a melee focus build where you constantly need melee charges. Blessing of Rasputin will increase the chance of a cell spawning when killing with a Warmind cell capable weapon. In my opinion, this mod is rather weak and isn't worth the mod slot. The other 2 mods in the Arc category are some AoE effects. Modular Lightning will create a burst of arc energy around you when collecting a cell, and Chosen of the Warmind will push enemies away from the point you collect the cell. Both decent AoE effects to get you out of a pinch. Last element to cover is Void. Void is all about leaving the cell where it is and using it for other benefits, other than blowing them up. Starting simple, Warmind's longevity will make Warmind cells you create last longer. This helps a lot with the rest of the Void mods. Grasp of the Warmind will allow you to pick up the cell and throw it wherever you want for maximum effectiveness. Warmind's Protection will make you take reduced damage from enemies in the range of the cell that's on the floor. This is indicated by all the enemies that are affected to glow orange. Power of Rasputin will essentially do the opposite by letting you deal more damage to enemies in the range of the cell. They will also glow orange. Cellular Explosion is a cell you shoot, but instead of blowing up, it sends out a suppression burst that suppresses anything in the area. I can't explain to you just how good this mod is. It keeps all enemies away from you and stops them attacking at all. A very powerful mod for GMs or day 1 raiding. I highly recommend in endgame content. Each element also has a link to the Charge with Light system. This is where you can intertwine the 2 systems. Warmind's Light will grant Charge of Light after collecting a cell. Incinerating Light grants Charge of Light after defeating multiple enemies with the Warmind cell itself, and Light from Darkness will grant Charge of Light from getting kills around the cell itself. Each mod plays into the elements they are tied to well. Now for some tips and tricks with Warmind cells, now that you know how they work. Number 1. Global reach is basically a must when it comes to cell builds. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I can't emphasize it enough. Increasing the range is a no-brainer for all types of cells. It also costs 1 energy, so find a place for it in your build. Number 2. This one's a little obvious, but Warmind cells do not work in PvP, unlike some Charge of Light mods, so make sure not to equip cell mods into your PvP armor sets. They will do nothing. Number 3. This one is a little tricky, but if you want to master Warmind cells, it's pretty good to learn. If you need to kill a yellow bar with your special weapon, but want to create a Warmind cell with it, well, you can. It requires you to be able to pull off an insta-swap on the killing blow of the yellow bar enemy, since they spawn a cell on a single final blow with a Warmind cell capable weapon. You'll just need to time it so that you swap as the enemy dies. You can now use the cell to clear the trash ads in the room with the yellow bar enemy. This tactic is for his scan weapons only. For other weapons such as Witherhoard and Anarchy, you can just apply the damage over time with your selected weapon and switch to a Warmind cell capable weapon. Any kills with the damage over time weapon count as kills for your Warmind cell building gun. Essentially, stick a yellow bar with Anarchy and switch to your Warmind cell gun. Once the enemy dies, you'll spawn a cell. I hope you got some useful info from this video. If you did, a like is greatly appreciated, and thank you for watching. If you didn't know, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/jukes. Feel free to also join my Discord server down in the description below. Peace.